Uh, Today we'll be studying about a concept called as the human eye and the colorful world. Myself and Dr. Sarin, and we'll be learning about these concepts about human eye and the colorful world. Now, if we enter into this human eye concept, first we are supposed to know about what is meant by human eye and what are the different parts of the human eye. If you see this particular figure here, it talks about the human eye and its different kinds of particles, such as like you can see over here, it has got the ciliary muscles and suspensory ligaments. This is a suspensory ligament, and this part you can see here, it's a iris. Iris is over here. Then a cornea is present at this part. Then again, this talks about the conjunctiva, and then pupils, and then lens. Conjunctiva, pupils, and the lens. Then coming to here from the back, behind the mirror, behind this particular eye, you can see there are parts like this part is called as an here. This one is called as a scleria, and then comes the retina, then foia, and this the last part is the optic nerves. So these are the most important parts of the human eye, where we will be studying about this one and how these parts have been helpful in order to discuss regarding what kind of eye defects that a human being can be encountered with, and how we are going to rectify that eye defect with the help of the concepts of mirrors and the lenses, which we have studied in the subject called as physics. So these are the basic parts of a human eye. Now let us see here the human eye. The human eye is, first of all, it's a sense organ. Why? Because it's going to sense many things, and it's going to tell about what is present. It senses the objects, and then it presents that object as an image in front of us. So human eye is what? It's a sense organ which help us to see the colorful world which is around us. Then human eye is like a camera. Just now, as I told you, that it senses the object and it gives the image out of that one. So that image which we are seeing, it looks like a colorful world to us. So human eye is just like a camera. Human eye is just like a camera. This part is a camera, and its lens system forms an image on a sensitive, light sensitive screen. This light sensitive screen, it can be part of your objective also. Kindly concentrate over here. Light sensitive screen, the light sensitive screen of human eye is called as a retina. So the lens system of a human eye will form an image. Where does the image is formed? Image is formed on the light sensitive screen, and that is called as a retina. Then the eyeball. Eyeball is almost spherical, and the diameter of the eyeball, this is also an important objective. The eyeball, the spherical, it's the eyeball is spherical in shape, and its diameter is 2.3 centimeter. Then now let us see how the light enters. The light here, the light enters the eye. The light enters the eye through a part of the eye which is transparent in nature. Cornea, sorry, excuse me, it is called as a cornea. The light enters the eye through a transparent membrane, and that transparent membrane is called a cornea. Then behind the cornea, there is a muscular diaphragm, and that muscular diaphragm is called as an iris. Now let us study what is this iris. And this iris, which has an opening called as a pupil. Now, where does this iris present? This iris is present behind the cornea. And what is this iris? Iris is a muscular diaphragm. And this muscular diaphragm is called as an iris, which is present behind the cornea. And this iris has got an opening, and that opening is called as a pupil. And what is this pupil? What does a pupil do? The main functionality of a pupil is that it controls the amount of light entering the eye. The main functionality of the pupil is to control the light. It is mainly used for controlling the amount of light which is entering the eye. See, we are talking here, if you are talking about the pupil, means pupil is a kind of part of an eye which tells us about the intensity of the light. If the intensity of the light is more, or if the light is more, our eye cannot catch that light. So here pupil is a kind of part of a human eye which controls the amount of light which is entering the eye. Then now let us see the eye lens. What is this eye lens? We have seen about the eye lens system over here. The eye lens helps to focus the image of the object on the retina. Why we are using this? What is the main purpose of this eye lens? Eye lens will help us to focus the image of what? It is an image of an object. Where is it has been focused? It is focused upon the retina. So now here eye lens is mainly used for focusing the image on the image of an object on the retina. Then coming to the ciliary muscles. What are the ciliary muscles? The ciliary muscles helps us to change the curvature of the lens and to change its focal length. The focal length and the curvature of the lens curvature and the focal length is being controlled or being changed by the part of an eye that is called as ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles are mainly used for changing the focal length and also for changing the curvature of the lens. This is regarding the different kinds of parts of the eye. What you have studied about, which part we have studied now here? First one we have studied about retina. Retina is what? It's a light sensitive screen which forms an image. That lens system will form an image upon this light sensitive screen. That is a retina. Then what about the eyeball? The eyeball is in spherical in mirror. Eyeball is in spherical in mirror, spherical in shape. And what is the diameter of that eyeball? The diameter of an eyeball is 2.3 centimeter. Then what about the light? How does the light enters? The light enters the eye through a transparent membrane called as a cornea. Light enters the eye through a transparent membrane called as a cornea. Then again, what is a cornea? Cornea is a muscular diaphragm which is cornea behind the cornea. What is it behind the cornea? Behind the cornea, there is a muscular membrane. That muscular membrane is called as an iris. And where through this iris, there is an opening. This iris has got an opening, and that opening is called as a pupil. And what is the function of a pupil? The pupil will control the amount of light which is entering the eye. The pupil is just like a control system which will allow only whatever the amount of light that eye can sustain. To whichever the amount of light the eye can sustain, only that much amount of light the pupil will make it to go through the eye. I can call it a pupil as a control system. It will not allow any kind of light which is more than the eye's capacity. Why? Because when a huge amount of focus of light falls upon eye, what we do? We try to close our eyes. So how do we get that sensing of that focus? There's a huge focus of light. That's mainly because of the pupil, which is a control system that will allow only the amount of light which I can sustain or which I can take it. Then again, what about the eye lens? Eye lens helps us to focus the image of object on the retina. The images have been focused on the retina. And how does that images are focused on retina? With the help of an eye lens. Then coming to the last one, ciliary muscles. What is the ciliary muscles? Ciliary muscles will help us to change the focal length, and also it helps us to change the curvature of the lens. So this is about the human eye. Now coming to the working of an eye. The eye lens forms a real inverted image of an object on the retina. So this is one most important objective. What is the nature of the image which is formed on the retina? The nature of the image which is formed on the retina is real and it is inverted. The nature of the image which is formed on the retina is real and inverted. Then the light sensitive lens in the retina then produces a electrical signal which are carried by the optic nerves to the brain. So see the light sensitive cells. What is light sensitive cells? It is a retina. The retina has got some cells. That retina, which is called as a light sensitive screen, this will sense that the cells which are present in the retina will sense that particular light, and then then what does it do? It produces an electrical signal, and these electrical signals are being sent to the brain. Then only through brain we'll understand that okay, there is some illuminity or the intensity of light is more. That's why our eyes get closed up immediately when a huge amount of high intensity of light falls upon the eye. Then what does our brain do? Once the Once this retina sends the electrical signal to the brain, then the brain processes that information. Process, that means what? The brain will work upon that information. What is that information? See now, if a huge focus of light is fall upon an eye, then immediately that signals retina will send to the brain. Okay, there is a huge intensity is coming to your eye. Then what does the brain has to do? It will take that signals from the brain and it will see as per that one, and it will say that okay, immediately it makes us to close our eye. Then what about the in the darkness? If whenever the light is very low, if the intensity of light is very low, then what does the retina do? The retina sends an electrical signal telling that the intensity of light is very low. Then what we will do? We will try to open our eyes wider. Our eyes will be opened wider in order to see that object which is very not seen properly in the darkness. So that this is called as a processing of the brain. Processing of the brain means what? The brain will try to will help us to close our eye, or it will help us to open our eye, depending upon the signals. It processes the information and then sends the image, sends the message to the eye, and then we see that object. It can be seeing of an object, or it can be helping us to close or open the eye. So this is about how does the eye works. I hope it's clear to you about how does the eye works and what is a human eye. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we'll go enter into the next part.
Yes, sir.
The power of accommodation of eye. Power of accommodation of eye. This is a definition. Let us see the definition now. The ability of the eye lens to see both the near and distant objects by adjusting its focal length is called power of accommodation of the eye. What is power of accommodation of eye? Here the power of accommodation of eye is nothing else but adjusting of the focal length. How does the focal length is adjusted? The focal length is adjusted with the help of the ciliary muscle. Just now we have studied here. The changing its focal length. What does it change as a focal length? Ciliary muscles. So with the help of the ciliary muscles, we can see the near objects or we can see the far objects. How can we see the near and far objects? By adjusting the focal length. And this, the ability of an eye to see a nearer object or farther objects by adjusting a focal length is called power of accommodation of the eye. This is an important definition which can be asked as a part of an 1 mark question. Now let us go to this part. The eye lens is composed of what is the eye lens composed of? Let us see now here. This eye lens is composed of fibrous jelly-like material. It has got a fiber material which is jelly in nature. Eye lens has got a fiber-like material which is jelly in nature, and its curvature can be changed to some extent by the ciliary muscles. That's what we have studied, right? The curvature of the lens and the change of focal length can be done with the help of ciliary muscles. Then the change of curvature of eye lens can change its focal length. That's what, right? Once the curvature of eye length has been changed, then the focal length also can be changed. How does it changes? It changes with the help of a ciliary muscles. When the muscles are relaxed, the lenses become thin and its focal length increases. Listen here now. We are talking about the changing and decreasing of the focal length, increasing and decreasing of focal length. When the muscles are relaxed, what will happen? The lenses will become thin. Once the lens become thin, what will happen? The focal length will increases. When does the focal length increases? When the muscles are relaxed. Well, what will happen if the muscles are relaxed? The focal length becomes thin. Sorry, the lens becomes thin. When the lens becomes thin, what will happen? The focal length increases. This is about how the focal length increases. Now, when the muscles are contracted, then the lens becomes thick. Once the lens becomes thick, the focal length decreases. It's all about the lens thickness and thickness. When the muscles are relaxed, the lens are becoming thin. If the lens are becoming thin, the focal length is increased. Once the muscles are contracted, lens become thick and focal length decreases. See, it's all about, like, I can give one example, like if whenever a person is very in tense mood, if a person is in very tense mood, he cannot even try to look at the objects which are closer to him also. Why? Because of the tense mode, the muscles becomes contracted. Once the nerves and the muscles becomes contracted, what will happen? He feels like the object which is close to him also very blurry in nature. So that's what we are happening. Why does the image looks blurry? Because the focal length decreased. So this is about how the focal length increases and decreases. Now coming to near point. What is meant by near point? The minimum distance at which I can see clearly is called near point. What is the minimum distance? The least distance which an eye can see clearly is called as a near point. And what is for normal eye? The near point is 25 centimeter. It's an important objective. The near point is what? The minimum distance which an human eye can see clearly is called as a near point, or least distance of distinct vision. It is also called as least distance of distinct vision. Then let us see the far point. What is far point? The farthest distance up to which I can see objects clearly is called far point. The farthest object up which I can see clearly is called farthest point. See, and we are talking about the near point. Near point means take an object and put very close to your eye. If you put an object which is lesser than 25 centimeter closer to eye, let me say if you have put an object from your eye to that object is only 10 centimeter, you cannot see that object clearly. But if an object is at 25 centimeters, we can see that object clearly to some extent. But whenever the object is less than 25 centimeter near to your eye, we cannot see that object. So that is called as a near point. Then whatever the farther point, if you put an object at some farther distance, even if it has a farther distance, your eye has to be in a position to see it properly. That is called as a farther distance. What is that one? The farther distance for a normal eye, which doesn't have any kind of defect, it is between 25 centimeter and the infinity. If a person doesn't have any kind of eye defect, it will be between 25 centimeter and infinity. So this is called about near point and the far point. Let us see now defects of human eye and their corrections. First one, myopia. What is this myopia? Myopia is also called as a near-sightedness. This is a myopic eye. How does a myopic eye looks like? This is a myopic eye. And then we are talking about the correction using the concave lens. Myopia or the myopia defect, this kind of defect can be corrected with the help of a lens. That is called as a concave lens. What is this myopia? Myopia is a defect of vision in which a person can see nearby objects clearly. Here, what is this myopia? It's a defect of an eye in which a person can see a nearby objects clearly, but cannot see the objects clearly which are at far distance, cannot see distant objects clearly because the image is formed in front of the retina. Why a person with myopic cannot see clearly? Because the image for a myopic patient or a defective person, he cannot see the objects at far distance. The main reason is that it is also an important objective because the image of the person who is suffering from myopia is been formed in front of a retina. It is formed where, ma? It is formed in front of the retina. That's the main reason they cannot see the object at a far distance, but they can see the object which are nearby. So see now, how can we correct? Well, this may be due to what? Increase in the curvature of the eye lens. Why the myopia is coming? It is mainly because of increase in curvature of eye lens. The next one, increase in the length of eyeball. This is a second reason why a person is suffering from myopic disease. And the third point here, we are talking about the correction of this eye defect. The correction of this eye defect can be done by concave lens. The correction will be done by a concave lens. So see here, what is myopia? Myopia is eye disease where a person can be seen a near objects but cannot see a far objects. Since a person can see a near objects, that's why it is called as a near-sightedness. Why a person cannot see the far objects? Because the image is formed in front of the retina. It is formed in front of the retina. So that's why a person cannot see the near objects. So how we can make the correction of this myopic defect disease? That can be done. The correction of the myopic or myopia disease or defective eyesight can be done with the help of a concave lens. This is about the myopia disease, defect of eye. The next one is a hypermetropia. What is hypermetropia? The hypermetropia is also called as a far-sightedness. This is how the hypermetropia eye looks like. Here, the hypermetropia eye correction can be done with the help of a convex here. It can be done with a convex lens. Now let us study about hypermetropia. Hypermetropia is what is a defect of vision in which a person can see only the distant object, only a distant object clearly, but cannot see the nearby object. It is exactly opposite of myopia. In the myopia, object can be seen, nearby objects can be seen, but farer objects cannot be seen. But in hypermetropia, farer objects can be seen, distant objects can be seen, but whereas the nearer objects cannot be seen. Now, why does it happen here? Let us see now here. The image here, because why a person cannot see the nearby objects? Because the image is formed behind the mirror. See here now. This is another comparison. In the myopia, image is formed in front of the mirror. Or that's mirror means I mean here retina. In the myopia, the image is formed in front of the retina, but here in the hypermetropia, image is formed behind the retina. Then see here now. This hypermetropia can be because of what? Hypermetropia can be because of the decrease in curvature of the lens. It is also because of the decrease in the eyeball length of an eyeball, and the correction has been done with the help of a convex lens. It can be done with the help of a convex lens. So this first one is a myopia, where increase it happens because of increase in curvature of length and lens, and also it happens because increase in length of an eyeball. But whereas here it happens, hypermetropia happens because of decrease in curvature of eye lens and decrease in length of an eyeball. Now coming to the next one, third one, presbyopia. What is presbyopia? Presbyopia is a defect of vision which mainly happens in the old persons who are not able to see the nearby objects clearly due to what? Due to the increase in distance of near point. Why do the old persons cannot see the nearby objects? They cannot see the nearby objects because of increase in distance points. Then next one. This is mainly because of what? This happens because of the decreasing of the ciliary muscles. What happens in the ciliary muscles? If the ciliary muscles are becoming weakened, then this presbyopia, can be affected. And it also happens because of decrease in the flexibility of eye lens. Even if the eye lens flexibility has been reduced, presbyopia can be affected. It can be corrected by what? By using suitable convex lens. It can be corrected by using suitable convex lens. So see now, sometimes they are not able to see both nearby and distant objects clearly. Sometimes the old persons cannot see, old people cannot see both distant and also far objects. Then what we are supposed to do? Then this can be corrected by using both the lenses, which are called as a bifocal lenses. Bifocal lenses can be used, which can be concave and convex lens. So upper part will be concave and the lower part will be convex for the correction. A concave is used for correction of the distant object, distant vision, and convex is used for the correction of near vision. This is about your today's class. Is it okay? Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So today
Yes,
we have
sir.
studied about different kinds of eye diseases: myopia, hypermetropia, and presbyopia. In the tomorrow's class, we'll see the next topics. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.